Welcome to Dave C, straight from the pit. Dave C here. I thought for today's show we could do G.I. Joe stuff, part 2. And a little while ago, I guess almost a year ago, I did an episode just titled that. And yeah, it's kind of just an episode where I just kind of go along and kind of randomly talk about G.I. Joe stuff. And I don't really have, an overall topic. I put all these Cobra guys out here because I thought maybe we could talk about the order of leadership for the terrorist group known as Cobra. And if you know about the 1987 movie, then you would know that Globulus and the Cobra Law guys were the supreme leaders of Cobra. So if you include them in Cobra Command, then of course these guys would be the leaders. But I kind of don't think of that. I like to think of the early 80s G.I. Joe as my G.I. Joe. So I tend to think that Cobra Commander there, the 82 original guy, is the leader. But yeah, having talked about the Cobra Law situation from 87, then you might also think that Serpentor, released in 1986, who was the Cobra Emperor, that he might be the main leader. And you might also think that 87 Battle Armor, Cobra Commander, might be the main leader. But to me, he's Fred, the Crimson Guardsman, in a battle armor suit. And this guy here, he got killed by Zartan in a Marvel book. And he got shot in the eye with an arrow from Zartan. So to me, he's out of the picture. So I take all these guys here and I put them out of the picture, as far as I'm concerned. So now we're left with this masterful set of Cobra Command figures from the 1980s. And we'll start with Cobra Commander himself. So of course he is the leader of Cobra. There he is there in his 1983 figure. And then Destro would be second in command as a weapon supplier. I put the Baroness third, Destro's woman, and she, of course, plays Cobra Commander and Destro against themselves sometimes in this organization. But yeah, I put her at number 3, the Cobra Intelligence Officer. And then number 4, I put the Ninja Storm Shadow. 5, I put Dr. Mindbender there. And I put him ahead of the Crimson Twins, only because he is kind of like the old Dr. Venom to me, where he's got a lot of ideas for technology for Cobra and a lot of that type of stuff to offer up on his repertoire. So I put him ahead of these two twins, even though they are the leaders of extensive enterprises and fund a lot of the Cobra doings. I still put Mindbender ahead of them, but yeah, on to these two guys. They were always very interesting to me because they are a little bit different than some of the other characters. And here's their file card here. There, of course, is a Crimson Guardsman who they're in charge of. And I like this one piece of the file card here. It says that now they command legions, but their legions wear 3-piece suits and fight their battles in executive boardrooms. So yeah, if you pause the video and read this file card, it explains that these two guys are kind of like in charge of that, and doing the finances for Cobra and are kind of setting up some espionage for Cobra Command on all different levels to be integrated into society. And speaking of espionage, the Cobra Saboteur, he's next in command. Then I put Scrap Iron there. And then the famous pilot, the best pilot in Cobra, Wild Weasel. Now you're probably wondering, where's Major Blood? Because he's supposed to be in there. And also Zartan. But I put them on their own little side note because Major Blood is a mercenary. So he's not really a Cobra. Like, he does work for Cobra. But he's not really in the Cobra Legions. And neither is Zartan. He's not a ranking officer in Cobra. He is the leader of the Dreadnoks. And kind of like a sideshow freak. A strange kind of character that is can just transform his looks and change his appearance. Next up, I thought we could look at the differences between 1980s Snake Eyes and Scarlet and the 1990s Snake Eyes and Scarlet. And I do have a few 90s on-card figures. And here they are here. But yeah, G.I. Joe in the 90s changed quite a bit. Of course, because a lot of the people in charge of the toys at the time, they were removing certain military type toys from the toy shelves and replacing them with kind of like hand-to-hand combat or ninja type toys, led by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles craze that started in '89. So even G.I. Joe was affected by this, where they kind of, some will say, made some goofier choices for the toy line. And one of these was Ninja Force, in a lot of people's opinion. But yeah, these are from 1992, I believe. And this one here is from 93. And you can see that the later comics, they even changed the name to Snake Eyes, not G.I. Joe anymore. For the end of it, Larry finally convinced them to go back to G.I. Joe, because it's kind of weird that they changed the name of the entire comic to that. But I guess that's the thinking that I just talked about, that ninjas seem to be more popular and maybe what they were trying to maybe go towards compared to military toys, which is what, G.I. Joe always was and always will be to me. The Hector Greedo art, of course, was always so captivating back then. And I think artwork like this kind of doesn't compare to the original 82 art, or 80s in general, G.I. Joe art. Even the 1989 Snake Eyes here is pretty cool for art. And yeah, just overall, the magic of that time, the early 80s, mid 80s. The file cards said a lot more on them and explain the character quite well. Scarlet is confident and resilient. It's remarkable that a person so deadly can retain a sense of humor. Compared to if I flip this one around and look at the back of it, and the photos of the other figures available is quite weird and strange. The artwork is I don't know what it is, but It's not G.I. Joe, really, compared to the stark contrast from this one, this 1982 card back. And the way the figure is made, and the weapons are all just kind of put together, all painted one color, and where you have to break the tabs off instead of having like a singular accessory like all the old G.I. Joes came with. They replaced it with this weird kind of system where you have to break them off. And yeah, that just kind of screams cheap, in my opinion. And they even stopped listing what she came with, or what the figures would come with. They always listed on the side before. You can see that one there, same idea. And that one has some weird gimmick. Real Ninja Action, it says. That figure doesn't look too bad. It's better than the Scarlet. And there's a glow-in-the-dark one with the same type of accessories. Just doesn't have the same appeal as the old G.I. Joe. And this file card on this one is tiny. Like, you look at the back of the card. And yeah, it's just a tiny little thing. And it says, like most of my past, now my body can be cloaked in secrecy. Well, that's interesting because they have him speaking on his own file card when the guy can't talk. Like, he can't speak because he had his vocal cords destroyed when his face got blown off, pretty much. So that's just maybe another reason why I know why I stopped collecting G.I. Joe. And not just because I got older, but also because the toy got more sillier, perhaps, than the 1980s military approach that everyone fell in love with. A few weeks ago, I got the latest A Real American Hero book, number 305, from Image Comics. It's from March. And it's really great. The continuation is going really well. And the cover here is pretty cool, with Cobra Commander on it. And they're in Springfield, of course. A nice little town, as the sign would always say. And like I always say, I don't want to spoil it for you guys. Just that it's great to see Cobra Commander alive and well and doing what he always does. And one thing I want to point out that I really like is that Larry has brought back Snake Eyes. And he's wearing his 1985 uniform, which is very, very cool. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil this one for you. There's a plot really, going on with Zartan right now that's very cool, where we don't quite know what's going to happen to him. And I'm looking forward to finding out, because as you can see there, he looks like he might be in trouble. And coming up this month, May 15th, will be the new issue, 306. And I'm really liking that cover, as you can see there. It's got Snake Eyes on the front. And there he is in the 1985 uniform that so many people really like. So I'm really looking forward to having that one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Haven't done too much with G.I. Joe lately. Just been thinking about a lot of other things and having to deal with a lot of other things. So yeah, not really, um, not really thinking of GI Joe much. But I just saw in here. It's pretty interesting. It says that she's from Alberta, Grand Prairie, Alberta. So this is a Canadian card, of course. And for those of you who don't know, Alberta's um, a province in Canada where all the oil is. That's where the Edmonton Oilers hockey team's from, famous Oilers team. But anyway, yeah. So a lot of times they would do that. They would switch the birthplace to a Canadian birthplace if it's a Canadian file card like this one. Yeah, but anyway, I'm looking forward to doing many more 1980s G.I. Joe videos and getting better. And yeah, so we'll see you next time. Yo, Joe.